So, welcome. Today, this session, I want to speak about the hero's journey. This time, I want to title it called Trials. I'll see you. So, greetings, welcome back. My name is Sage, and I'm from Karnak Holistics, where we learn together and we grow together in the sight of God. So, today, I'd like to speak about trials. And I mentioned this is from the 12 steps, probably a bit more than that, of the hero's journey by Joseph Campbell. Very inspirational man. I recommend that you check out his work. So let me get on and let me speak about trials. Now, there is many different facets or different interpretations of the word trials in regards to this context. So, for example, there is the example or the connotation that trials is a process for you to grow through and you become a better person. There is another aspect is where God is judging you or challenging you or even giving you kind of like tests to see if you are strong enough. All these things are all pretty much all the same. I honestly believe, for me, I honestly believe that God doesn't test anybody. I honestly believe He gives us obstacles in order for us to learn from. So these obstacles are a similar pathway or a pattern that we keep repeating and following through based upon our own mistakes. So when we make the same mistakes and we keep getting stuck and we're on that rat wheel and we're not going anywhere, that's the same mistakes. That's our trials. And we therefore go and face trials or we go and face something else bigger than us in order for us to have the energy or the knowledge and also the focus in order to overcome it. Now, many times, sometimes it may be for the fact is that you go on a journey or you go kibbutzing or you go off to another country and you want to learn something new because you want to get away from your environment. It could be for the fact you're dating all the wrong people, so you may take a break from apart from dating, and then you find out that you may end up meeting someone on the cuffs of that. And the other point is for the fact is that you may be focused upon trying to make something happen, i.e., trying to build businesses, and the business is not working. But as you get to a point, as a business grows, you either get cold feet or you get nervous, or you may even, for a fact that you just like the idea of building businesses but not actually seeing it grow and fledgling and fly. So all these trials, it depends on what you want to achieve, where you want to go, and what you want to be at the end. Now, as you know, the hero's journey is that cycle that we all go through on every part of our growth and us changing. If we don't complete the hero's journey, these steps, these 12 steps, we get stuck in the middle and we don't seem to be accelerating or elevating forward. Now, for me, when I came into, for example, with me with Karnak, naming the name Karnak and really embodying it and then making it more accessible and having faith in it, I needed to overcome my own personal identity as a descendant from ancient Egypt. I know this sounds really weird, and you're thinking, why the hell would you have an issue about dealing of knowing that you came from ancient Egypt and that you have a problem in this life? There's many reasons. There's many people don't like to look backwards because obviously of what transpires from before. I can't really honestly say to you what my troubles were or what my fear was, but I think more than anything else, it was more for the fact is that as I was growing, my ancestors seemed to be stepping forward more and more anyway. So as they stepped forward in from spirit and they wanted to help me and support me more, it made me develop and made me be aware of, oh, hold on, maybe there is a conscious race. Actually, it took for me to go to Egypt, and I was away with a family at one point, and I was in Egypt, and then we stayed in this hotel, next door to next door to this other hotel, which was I assumed was under construction. Long story short, I remember laying in the bed and I woken up and I saw Anubis sitting or standing at a distance. And then he bowed to me and I bowed back to him. And then I just see these overwhelming amount of people just walking through because the door opened, the gateway opened, and they people were just walking through from the side of when the hotel was. This is after Anubis said to me if I can open the gateway to go on to the other side. So anyway, as these people were walking through, and it was hundreds, I could say loads of people. It wasn't hundreds, it was like probably about 70 or 80. But there was loads of people walking through. And when he went, as the door closed, and he bowed and he left, I just sat there, must for about 20 minutes to half hour, probably 45 minutes, thinking, what the hell was that, you know? And then I remember the following morning, went down for breakfast, and I went to sleep, got up, and spoke to the family, went down for breakfast, and then I remember talking to the people who were in reception, and I said, the hotel next door, blah, 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 and they like looked at me funny, and I said, like, what happened? Was it kind of like a bomb got gone off there? Did was it like a gas leak? Because it looked like there was loads of rubble. And they said it was actually blown up, and basically loads and loads and loads of people died. That was my turning point. That was my trial. I never knew that that was actually my turning point. And this happened over 15 years ago. But that's when I realized that obviously now it's time for me to start really working with my ancestors and start working with these guys behind me in order to bring my message forward. Whether it's just to the BME community or whether it's a big a genre, but as I developed and I came and spoke more than that, I should say, as I internalized and I accepted, my roots, my energy, my truth. That's the word, my truth. When I accepted my truth of my ancestors, where I was from, is when I could project more and when things really shifted for me, move forward. And then when I returned back to the UK, I remember quitting my job and going off and starting my own businesses, and then kind of grew from there. And then started working, doing exorcisms, started building UK Ghost Explorers. I started doing a lot more platform. So all these things came. And I remember someone saying to me, oh my gosh, what happened to you when you was away? You're just so different. So I tell this story in my book, The Source, and it just explains roughly where I was from and what I've done and where I've arrived. But more importantly, when you're facing your trial, you have your mentor as with your journey. You know, when you go on your hero's journey, a part of your hero's journey before you get to the trials, you meet your mentor. It could be physical, or it could be spiritual, or he could just be a fictional character. But it's what we, for example, Neo had Morpheus. He even had the Oracle. Luke had Yoda and also had Obi-Wan. And to a point, he even had Vader because he knew what he didn't want to be. And that way, what he embodied and accepted who he was. And Luke accepted who his dad was before he became Vader. And as he said, towards the end, I want to be a Jedi like my father before me, not Vader. So he accepted who his dad was. I think that's what made Anakin change. And the other thing was, I've seen people in my who I work with who try to keep changing their lives over and over and over and over again, and they keep going, I want to be with this person, or I want to do this, I want to do that. And I'm saying, well, okay, that's fine. Okay, we know what you want to achieve. How are you going to achieve that? And how do you want me to help you to achieve the goal? And they were like, well, I've been trying this and I've been on courses, I've been talking to people, I have my affirmations, I do law of attraction, I do all these stuff. I goes, listen to what you're saying. You're doing. I'm doing a law of attraction. I'm doing my affirmations. I'm meditating. I'm following all these courses. I'm talking to all these people. I'm doing. You're not actioning. You're not physically accepting your truth. Accept your truth. That is the biggest part of your journey to move forward through the trials. You accept your truth, you internalize it. When you internalize it, you accept it, you take it in, it will change without, on and without, the outer house. If you keep trying to change the external, it would take far long to try and change the external than trying to change the internal. And when you change the internal, the external would automatically change. It has to change. It's the natural law. When I throw something in the air, I'm trying to find anything to throw. When I throw something in the air, it comes down. You don't go and stick to the sky, and I can, no matter how much I will it to stay on the ceiling, it would have to come down. And it's so important that you learn and you accept that part of who you are. And when it is just like gravity, it is just like you internalizing yourself is almost throwing the thing in the air and realizing it's coming down. When you realize you need to come in to yourself, think about the word. When you have to come into yourself, come down, into yourself, down into yourself, then it will come out, come up, rise. And you would never rise. It would take a long time to rise if you're constantly trying to do it with your own self. There's a beautiful saying by, I think it's, I've forgotten his name now, Les Brown. He says, the path before me is a path that will always be before me. And that path would always be before him because he realized that the path behind him is still there. Yeah. And there is and also Latsuk said from I Ching, basically says that there is good and there is bad. The good is there, the bad is there. The good is there and the bad is there. If you know what the bad is and you know accepting truth, accepting what you are, the truth will change for the better. You cannot know what something is good until you know what something is bad. You know, if you eat something that's out of date to do with food, you consume it and you eat it, you know you're going to be sick, therefore projecting out. You internalize it, you project out. If you know something's in date and you internalize it, you know you'll keep it within. And then you feel healthier, so out, and your body will be stronger on without. That's the way it works. It's that simple. It's that simple. Same thing when I tell people, write your views down on pad and pen. It's just something about putting stuff out internally out there, having that affirmation onto paper, that handwriting. So that's basically the trials and how trials works within the hero's journey. And it's so powerful, I can't even comprehend, Carnakarians. I can't even comprehend that until we learn to accept our own truth, we're going to struggle to change our truth on and without. So stay blessed, stay safe, namaste, and I'll see you in the next video. Namaste.